Hello, everybody. My name is Aaron.
And my name is Mike.
And I'm Jeff.
Welcome to the AMP Golf podcast. I can't speak tonight. So
it is going to be that kind of week, isn't it?
Yeah. How are the two of you doing? Other than being tired, how are you doing?
Good.
Yeah, doing well. We're getting over the COVID here at this house. I threw it all, tested negative the whole way. So
nice.
Awesome. Be careful mentioning that. They don't like that on YouTube. They'll boot us.
Really?
Throttle the video, all kinds of stuff.
Just because I tested negative?
No, because you said the word.
Oh.
Well, we can edit that out. It's okay.
It's one of those
we don't have to do
words.
it. I can censor it. It'll be great.
Perfect.
That is odd. Stating a thing I had is taboo. It's
right?
A wallet or a pair of socks. A lot of people had it.
So, yep, they sure did. Thanks for joining.
Not about that, right?
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We've gotten some pretty incredible comments from people. Lots of LIV support, which is fantastic.
Yeah, go for it.
We're not anti LIV at all. We're, as some of you said, we are old and in our set in our ways, and we're not quitting our day jobs.
Right? I mean, I'll go on record and say that I'm not really pro LIV or anything. I don't really see the point of it. I know that the whole intention was to grow the game, and I just don't think that they're doing that. So I mean, go for it. Send me all the comments.
That's a lot of bullshit about growing the game, because they haven't done anything to grow the game. And if I read correctly, I mean, I don't believe everything I read, so I've read multiple sources that have stated that there has been no charitable donations. I don't know if it's true or not, and if that's not true, then what are we doing? We're just giving money to more rich people, which, hey, if they deserve it, they can get it. We've always said, go for it. We wouldn't necessarily shy away from that kind of money either. So
what's the charitable donations? Okay, was there supposed to be some kind of charitable edge to LIV, or are you just saying it's not something they're doing?
It's just not something they're doing. And that's where the pro PGA people are like, well, at least we're giving money to charities, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of rhetoric on both sides. We've heard a lot of it, and there's more coming, as we'll get into later. I do want to say, though, 149 days till the Masters and 47 days till Christmas. 47. It's almost Thanksgiving.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
that's right. Crazy.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
November always goes by so fast too.
It does.
My problem with it here is that it's like it hits turbo right now and it just blazes through Christmas, and then we hit that dead time, and time just crawls.
Yeah, January, February, March.
It's just miserable because you can't, that's our peak winter time, and here where we're at. And so a lot of simulator time this year, though, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Some sad news. Bryson DeChambeau lost his dad to long health battles. He had lots of issues, and Bryson's text or tweet out apparently said, I'm sad to see you go, but I'm glad you're not in pain anymore. Nobody wants to see their loved ones live like that. So Bryson, our heart goes out to you and your family. Wish you all the best. That's sad. So Rory doubled down on his comments about LIV and the PGA, stating that they must talk sooner rather than later. I believe his words were, I believe there is no more time to waste. The PGA Tour and LIV will have to find a compromise and speak for the sake of our sport. What do you think about that?
I don't disagree, but I've always said, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, those two are not going to sit in a room and have a beneficial conversation for anybody.
They don't want to work together.
No, they don't. I agree.
One of them wants to beat the other one. That's kind of where it's at. That's kind of where I feel Greg Norman is, and Jay Monahan.
Greg wants to beat the PGA Tour. He's been trying to do that for a long time, and Monahan has dug in his heels, dug him in. He's not looking to form any kind of an alliance to help make the game better, right? And I don't hate LIV. I don't love LIV. I think LIV has a long way to go to show that they're trying to grow the game. We've talked about that before. I do like the team format, and I like it because you can have, a captain play another captain while the other guys play some match play or some other format. I like that a lot. I think there's some merit there, and I'd love to see that expand. But other than that, LIV is just, hey, let's throw a bunch of money at this and make it cool.
Right.
Yeah. I was thinking about something, I've always said, hey, I'd like to see some like different kinds of events and mixed teams events and things like that. But part of the problem, I guess, with LIV, I would say it's a problem. We've talked about this as world ranking points and how that correlates to PGA play and, the larger tournaments and things like that when you don't have exemptions. I agree. I think it's great to see those kind of things, but I don't think that helps them get any status with the, getting points so those golfers can get back in circulation, right? As much as I'd love to see that, and I think there's room for it, they also need to find a way to keep getting their golfers world ranking points so that they can stay in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, what happens if that, if in 2 years they don't have, or they don't have the ability to get points still, all of their best golfers they're not going to be able to compete in any of them, or at least most of them aren't going to be able to compete in the major events, bar DJ, who can play in the Masters forever, and Patrick Reed, they're going to make one showing a year. And then other than that, they're going to be kind of a ghost. They're not really going to exist in that.
Will they be able to, what's the requirements for keeping your PGA card?
Yeah.
Is there going to be some ramifications for their cards, their tour cards?
Well, some of them have resigned from the PGA Tour.
Right.
Not all of them. Some of them have. Phil's got a lifetime membership to the PGA Tour, and he did not resign, as far as I know. A couple of them have not resigned, so I'm not exactly sure. That's fine.
I know we've talked about that they have to play a specific number of events, right, in order to keep the tour card. So I know that's one of the qualifications that you have to have. So
right.
I don't know.
With the lawsuits that are out there, everything could be on hold for 2 years. Who knows? And in that time, LIV could spend another $4 to $6 billion on their product and signing players, which they're trying to sign 7 more players, is what I heard. So we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
I was just thinking about something. This kind of reminds me when racing was getting started and the competition between Formula and regular road circuit racing.
Mm-hmm.
There was some dirty pool being played. So it's interesting. It seems like if the growth isn't handled and worked out collectively and organically and done by folks who really want to work together and get the growth done, it can be a little combative. And that's really what I see Monahan and Norman. That's what I see where those two guys are. So.
Right. I still think watching it on TV was a lot because there's so much thrown at you. And the PGA Tours is the opposite. Sometimes we've talked about that. There's so many commercials sometimes it makes it very difficult to watch that. So there's got to be a middle ground for the golf fan. There's a lot of question on, have we reached the peak of viewership at the PGA Tour, and LIV is going to continue to pull people away from that. Who knows? We'll see what happens next year. But if you look at the stats, which are readily available on the YouTube viewership, it's not ginormous. They're not gaining thousands and thousands and thousands of new subscribers all the time.
They had a lot of subscribers initially once they launched the YouTube channel, and then it kind of petered off. I'm actually on their YouTube channel now, kind of looking at that stuff too. So,
right. So moving on from LIV, we got more to talk about them later. Bubba came out and said that, hey, people have been paying us behind closed doors for years.
Well, probably not what anybody wanted him to say that has any control over the PGA, but for
the PGA Tour hasn't been paying them. It's sponsors who are paying them, and that's common knowledge.
It goes to figure that they would be.
Yeah. Sponsors will pay a player to show up on a Monday or a Tuesday and do a corporate event.
Oh, absolutely.
And they'll get paid behind closed doors for that. Absolutely. That's been happening for a long time.
Oh,
The PGA Tour has a strict, it's supposed to be a strict rule. If it's not, then let's talk about that when we know about it, of not paying players to show up at events. That doesn't mean the European Tour or the DP World Tour or other tours have not paid players to show up at events. They have.
Right.
Tiger's famous for getting $1 million or something to play in Dubai or something. So, but I think Bubba's comments were taken out of context, or if people don't understand what's happening behind those closed doors, they're going to say, oh shit, look, see, the big bad evil PGA is still doing what they said they weren't going to be doing. I don't think that's the case here. So we'll see what happens. I don't know that anything else will come out of this. I think enough people came out and said it's not what you think it is. So we'll see. The match is back December 10th. It's official. It's on.
This is going to be a good one too. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I hope so. Tiger and Rory against JT and Jordan. So 12 holes, mic'd up under the lights, 6 p.m. Eastern time on a Saturday.
Nice.
So yeah, I think we can gather, watch it if we so choose. And the other interesting thing I found, that something for us to consider talking about at some point, and I'm going to try to do this in the garage or on the simulator, is, are you a swinger of the golf club or are you a striker of the golf ball?
So explain that.
There's a theory out there that there are two kinds of players. The players that will swing the golf club and hope for the best, right? And then there are players that are not thinking so much about swinging the golf club, but striking the golf ball. And a person's theory is the better players are strikers of the golf ball, where the amateurs are swingers of the golf club. And I can't figure out which one I am. I would like to think I'm a swinger of the golf club because that's what I focus on.
I think this year I have become more focused on striking the ball than my golf swing. And I think that's paid off. I think my striking has gotten, it's way better than it was last year. It's just, that's all I've been focusing on.
I'll be honest, I've never thought of that. And from this moment forward, I will not think of it, because I got too much shit going on in my golf game already.
Right.
That I do not need one more thing to think about.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was like, damn, I don't even know what I am. I'm gonna have to figure it out. And now my golf game is about to tank even harder.
It's like, are you a driver of the car or are you a rider of the road? I go from point A to point B. Come on.
Yeah. So something interesting. And I'm gonna actually just go in the garage and hit and see what happens and think about it a little bit.
I'm not.
I feel like thinking about it for you is like the worst possible thing you could do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But now it's in my head.
Just go and try to hit that ball.
Hey, Aaron, so our first round together next year or at the simulator, you and I can just stand behind Mike and go, so is it going to swing the club or hit the ball?
Right.
We don't know. It's one or the other, folks.
That's fantastic. And I'm going to go, I don't know.
You're gonna get so in your head. Like all the swing changes that you've made over the last 2 years have, turned into something pretty good and pretty repeatable, and you're just gonna blow it apart.
There is a big chance that could happen. We'll see. I might play Friday because I'm off. Happy Veterans Day, Jeff.
Thank you.
Appreciate your service. Thank you. Jeff's an Air Force veteran, for those that didn't know it. But Friday I'm off, so we'll see if the weather holds and I'm able to get out and play. We'll try it. So the Mayakoba Championship happened, and Russell Henley finished a 5-year PGA Tour victory drought.
Good for him.
Firing a 1 par 70 to capture the championship by 4 strokes. And it's his 4th career PGA title. He's 33 years old. I did not know he had 4 career PGA titles. So good for him. Really happy. Great course. I saw some of this. It was just really, really beautiful course. Something I'd like to play someday. So he said to come down 18 with a 4-shot lead. It was just really cool. He was very nervous this weekend. He has had the 54-hole lead several times and has blown it more than often than not. He says he has a hard time sleeping with the lead. The nerves get the best of him.
I would.
He said he's shocked that Tiger was able to do it as many times as he did, because his nerves, he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So it goes to show you a lot about what Tiger did, what Jack did, what all the great players really did, and the mental toughness they had to have to do this, right?
I get nervous when I have a good looking second shot into a par 5. Well, like, geez, this could be a really good, and then it never goes well. But that, I couldn't imagine sleeping on a 54 hole lead to win the PGA.
Yeah,
to win a tournament.
It was pretty good, and I'm really happy for him. Glad he was able to do it. The guy that Aaron and I both talked about, Brian Harman, who were like, God, I want to pick him, but I can't pick him because I just can't pick him. Finished second.
Yep. That's who he's the guy. I mean, he's just always that person. He's just, oh yeah, Brian Harman's in the top 5. Shocker, but he's there.
He's there a lot too. So I should have known better. It was right there, and I switched my pick at the last minute. Oh well, it is what it is, right? Scotty Scheffler. How about Scotty shooting a 62 on Sunday? Taking his old putter back out of where did
eBay?
He put it?
Oh wait, no.
Retirement.
Into tension, and getting the rid of the Scotty prototype he was using, and shooting a career low 62, I believe it was for him. So in a pro tournament, he said, I just tried to show up and shoot a great round. Somebody asked him if he's worried about getting back to number 1. He's like, nah, that's the last thing on my mind. I just want to play good golf.
There you go.
So Seamus Power and Americans Will Gordon, Joel Dahman, and Troy Merritt were also right there too.
I mean, I was so close to picking him. I was like, he's not going to do anything, man.
Yeah. Last win for Henley was at the 2017 Houston Open. He also won at the 13 Sony Open in Hawaii and the 14 Honda Classic. The Sony Open's the one of the first 2 tournaments of the new year, right? So,
yes.
Is that where all the previous year's winners go?
No.
Or is that the one before that?
It's the one before that, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's my memory. I'm old, as people have reminded me quite a bit that I'm old. So my memory isn't what it used to be. So that happened, and we're all happy for him. Up next is the Cadence Bank Houston Open, which is going to be held at the Memorial Park Golf Course. So this course was refurbished by the Astros Golf Foundation, and they got Tom Doak to design the course, and they also got input from Brooks Koepka on this one. So he served as the PGA Tour consultant. And one of the most outstanding features or intriguing features of this course is the state-of-the-art storm water irrigation system. It's designed to capture and retain 80 million gallons of stormwater for irrigation purposes.
Cool.
It takes the golf course right off the city's potable water system. So
that's awesome. That's a huge complaint. I mean, there's a whole subreddit you can go to about people who hate golf specifically because of just the amount of upkeep and water and resources that it takes, and how, it takes away from usually the city is providing that.
Right.
So that's super cool that they were able to kind of build in a system that allows them to get themselves off the grid and be a little bit more self-sustaining.
Absolutely. So the field here is pretty decent. It's not, as good as the week before, but Scotty Scheffler headlines this field. Sam Burns is in it. Siwoo Kim, Sepp Straka, Harris English, Tony Finau, Zach Johnson, Hideki Matsuyama, Sahith Theegala are some of the more notable players in the field. With last week's $18,000, I stay in first place at 2.9 million overall. Tony whiffs with Tony Finau, so it keeps him at 2.1 million. Aaron picked Francisco Molinari to finish last, and he did.
Dead last. I mean,
he made the cut. He made the cut.
I got some money on the board.
There you go.
So it keeps him at third at 486, and Jeff's in fourth place with Horschel as well, getting him at $405,000. So again, still anybody's game. It's, you pick a couple of second places, a first, some thirds and fourths. You're going to move up pretty fast in this game. So it's anybody's game still. Who you guys got for this week? What are you gonna do?
I think Jason Day.
Ooh. All right. Aaron?
I'm going Tony Finau. I'm pulling one out this week so I can hopefully get some money on the board.
Drops a name, going for that prize money.
Yeah.
So I'm picking Maverick McNeely, and so is Tony.
There you go.
So we're both picking Maverick McNeely, who I think is going to have a really good year this year. I just don't know that he's going to be as strong when the fields really stack up. So we'll see. Hopefully he does something, and I would love to see another W for me. I like gloating, who doesn't? So
we know
that's fair.
Yeah. LPGA had their Toto Japan Classic, Jeff.
The Scottish golfer so Draberg, I think is how you say her last name. She's Scottish. Gemma. She I don't know. She lit it up the last 2 days. She was
back-to-back 65s on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, it was really nice.
Nothing wrong with that. One with a nice 4-stroke cushion. Nagai from Japan was in second. So good for her. Congratulations. Well done.
She's the 11th first-time winner on the Tour LPGA this year, which ties a record.
Yeah, it's a talent-filled field. I mean, it really is. So
absolutely. Where do they play next?
Yes, they
Florida,
are.
Right?
Yeah, they're down in Florida. Oh, I had it up, darn it. And
it's Pelican.
Pelican. Yep,
that's what
Pelican.
It is.
That's right, because I was looking at Emily Pedersen,
right?
Who's a Danish golfer who tees off first with the first group at 6:55 on Thursday. So
gotcha. Nelly Cord is the defending champion here. And her sister Jessica hurt her back, so she's going to be out for the final 2 events. This is the last event before the championship next week. So, interesting stat from this year. Out of 30 tournaments played, they've been won by 25 different people, and one of those was a team event. So, and the winners have come from 14 countries. The United States leads the way with 7 titles, followed by South Korea with 4. Also, Athaya Thitikul, the number 1 player of women's golf, is also on the verge of securing Rookie of the Year. So that's a twofer for her. Really, really cool. And Lydia Ko has 2 tournaments left to try to get to number 1 again with Jin Young Ko, who slipped to number 2, can also get back to number 1 if things go her way. So it's going to come down to the wire on the LPGA to see how the rankings shake out. Been a good year for them.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I kind of actually like that situation, like in the PGA side, we had Scotty Scheffler go zooming out to a big, huge lead. And then, people try to break late and they have to win in gobs. The LPGA, I mean, it's week to week. And with that many different people winning, it's going to be an interesting championship. So,
yeah,
absolutely. They're going to go on an extended break. I believe they pick up again after next week at the end of January.
Yeah, they get a decent break. I want to say it's about 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
So good for them. There's so much diversity, meaning from people from other countries who have the ability on the LPGA to win at any time, and a lot of youngsters that are really strong.
Mm-hmm.
So really strong. So it's a good thing to watch if you get a chance to go support the ladies and let's have some fun with it. So LIV Golf is pretty much done for the year, outside of lawsuits and what their plans are coming up for the next year. They're really going to look at expanding their team concept. So if you have enough money, you can buy into a LIV team. You can hang out with DJ or Table for One or any of those guys by owning a portion of their team, which is how LIV is going to bank on making some of their money back. They also expect the team, and this is interesting for me, to wear uniforms next year with sponsors' logos on their hats, shirts, and bags. Each squad eventually is expected to build its own golf course to host home games.
So is this going to, I mean, are they going the route of like most other major sports where the teams are going to have an owner within LIV Golf?
Yes. Players are there's going to be one player that owns basically 25% of the team, with LIV retaining ownership of the rest of it, where the person who just won $2 billion in California could say, hey, I want to give, $400 million to the Crushers and be a part of their team, and you're going to wear my logo and all this stuff.
I know $2 billion is a lot, but there are a lot of other things I'd spend $400 million on.
So I could tell from that sound that Aaron made that his opinion of LIV Golf just went up with that news.
It's just, I mean, it just seems so convoluted, and it's just like, people, come on, this is a good idea. Come pay money and show other people that this is a good idea.
So Bryson thinks that his team will eventually have golf academies that they're running. They'll sell subscriptions. And the best thing that I read out of this is they're going to even sell NFTs. And I'm telling you right now, if you're buying NFTs, I don't get it. I don't understand owning or paying money for a digital thing that could be just wiped away tomorrow, right? Sure, a fire could come through my house and take down my man cave with all my memorabilia up in it. Absolutely. It's insured, so I'll, at least get something out of it. What happens? I don't understand why somebody would pay hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars for an electronic piece of art. I don't get it.
Well, that aside, yeah, it feels like we're getting a little gimmicky at that point.
A little bit,
but I mean,
a little gimmicky.
Yeah, but
you could argue that LIV Golf as a whole is a little gimmicky.
So there's value in the product because it pushed the PGA Tour to do things for the players, right? So I see some value with that. And I think the PGA Tour players should thank those that left for getting them more money, because Rory had a hell of a year. Rory finished second in the PIP this year. Who finished first? Come on, I'll give you one guess.
Tiger.
Yes, Tiger finished first. Tiger played a total of 9 rounds of golf.
There's no way he doesn't finish first until he retires.
He moves even the needle, right?
Who knows?
Yep. And so Rory has won somewhere around $60 million this year.
That's crazy.
Right. So just a lot of money. He's won a lot of money. DJ with his signing bonus has won about 76 million.
Yeah.
Anyway, so to pull all of this off, LIV has created a new model for commercializing the sport of golf. They're taking bits and pieces out of what Formula One did, creating teams, right? They're looking at soccer for relegation and moving people in and out of their fields, doing things like that.
At the end of the day, if they can make it work, that is great. I don't know that I'm going to run around in Aces Polo or a Crushers. I don't know if I'm that guy, right? But if they can make it work and they can make money and they can get it to grow and it takes off, more power to them. Yeah. I thought Velcro was silly the first time I saw it. Now my stuff has Velcro on it. So I mean, of course I was around when they invented cold water too. So that's.
I think it's cool. I mean, the idea of being able to, get a lesson or go to an academy, that LIV Golf has created, that is growing the game. But again, I do think it's a little gimmicky. It's kind of like the Elon Musk Twitter takeover where, you can become verified on Twitter for a monthly fee. You can take lessons with Bryson DeChambeau for a monthly, you have to donate to LIV Golf. You have to hit a specific donation amount in order to take lessons. I feel like that's kind of the route they're going, where it's not accessible to everyone.
There's got to be a revenue model for it, right? So it's at the end of the day, that $2 billion, if there's no more put into the fund or whatever they have, it's going to run out. So there has to be a revenue stream. So if they can get it to go, hey, good for them.
Right.
If they can, great. I'll pick it. I mean, you know what? I don't participate in everything every team does in the NHL either, but I buy a jersey occasionally and the ones I like. So I kind of see it that way. It's going to, the consumers will decide.
Sure.
These teams are going to be franchises, which are going to be owned by people potentially outside of LIV, right? So that's going to be very interesting. And don't get me wrong. I think the team concept has value. I think there's something there. My problem with what LIV has done so far is they said, okay, we got to get going now. They took this big ball of shit and threw it against the wall. And whatever stuck, that was LIV this year. Like it, hate it, whatever. This is what LIV is now. Now they have to go through the process of tweaking and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking to get a business model that's sustainable long-term. And I think that's where they failed, was they had an incomplete product that they rushed to market and threw at people. And there's value to it because people are following it. I will watch it as more people leave the PGA Tour and go to LIV because I want to see those people play golf. Right now on LIV, who do you want to watch play golf? Cam, DJ, Bryson when he's healthy, Brooks when he's healthy. Who else?
I mean, I could honestly say it's probably just Cam Smith for me.
That's my
Although
problem.
I like watching DJ too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. DJ's got lots of value because he got $125 million to sign with them.
right.
Good for him. I'm not taking anything away from him. And I don't hate LIV. I'm not anti-LIV. I don't think any of us are. We just don't understand it. And we think it is rushed to market to be a disruptor, which it did. And it disrupted a lot.
But
right?
and disruption's not all bad, right? So I mean, I don't mind that LIV Golf is a disruptive force in the market. The PGA needed shaken up, right? I think the players in the PGA side should have more ownership over the media parts of their career, the pictures and things that they generate on the tour. Some other stuff like that. There should, whatever. If LIV helps that, I still say they can both be successful if they work together. And there's plenty of room for everybody.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Wrong two people are in the wrong chairs, and I just don't think it's going to happen if Norman and Monahan are in those seats. So.
Absolutely. I just struggle with the 54 holes too, man. No cut, 54 holes, and it's only 48 players.
Yeah, and that ties back into the point side of things, right? You can't keep their golfers are going to drop off all of the rankings if they don't figure this out.
And you can't. I mean, they're not going to be able to get a lot. I mean, even if they do get points, like we were saying, they're going to have to be, given reduced points because of the field size. It's going to be a lot harder for someone to crawl up the leaderboard getting a third of a point or however it's, dispersed at the end of the day. And I think making special allowances for LIV Golf is that's a little ridiculous.
Well, it's kind of one of those things where what does everybody else think that's now got world ranking points? Right. Where's my special dispensation? Yeah. Don't I get extra credit for being in, 72 holes and making the cut? Then should my points
play
be
18 more holes than they do? Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So I think the bottom line is people have said, we're down on LIV. I don't know that we're down on LIV. I think we think LIV. I'll speak for myself. I think LIV has potential, but I think they got a lot of problems they got to solve first to make it realize what that potential is.
I agree. I agree. The PGA Tour is making it easier, they said, for those in college to go right to the tour by allowing the top college golfer, one player, to go straight to the tour every year. One player. I don't think that's making it easier for college golfers to go right to the tour. So I think they need to rethink that model. I think there's a lot the PGA Tour needs to rethink. They need to retain their talent, right? They need to continue to develop talent, which right now LIV does not have the ability to do. Who are they building? Where is their talent coming from other than here's $100 million, come work with us?
Right.
But,
that's all they have.
Well, okay. In a way. I would say their talent pool, they're building talent right now because they don't have a developmental league, but really does the PGA, other than like your, the Korn Ferry Tour and that kind of stuff, I don't know if that's really developmental. If you're good enough in college, you can come out and hop right on the PGA Tour. You have to hit the Korn Ferry for a brief instant, but you can go get a card if you blaze through the Korn Ferry Tour. All LIV is doing is saying, oh, I'm scouting. I'm like a pro scout for a football team. I like this kid. I'm drafting him early.
Right.
I'm looking for the LeBron Jameses of the world, and I'm just going to take him right out of high school and make him a pro. Now, he's a once in a lifetime guy, but that's what I mean. Their pool is the entire golf world.
You're right. It is. There was one of the comments gave us threw some shade at us by saying that it's a stupid argument that the people on LIV don't play as hard as the people on the PGA Tour. I don't believe it's a stupid argument. If you're in a no-cut event, you're guaranteed money. Are you going to put your everything on the line to try to make the cut and win and get a paycheck? I don't think you are. You don't have to do. And I can't back it up with stats yet because I just can't find them, right? But I need to find the stats of every LIV event and throw it up against the stats of PGA Tour events and see where they shake out, because statistics will tell us a lot. Average score, the how hard was the courses they were playing, things like that. And let's put together some kind of a formula that says LIV is better, PGA Tour is better.
I mean, you could make an argument just by looking at a few players. Phil Mickelson is a pretty good example of someone who did not do anything on LIV. And, granted, it's not like he was trending upwards on the PGA Tour, but he's not far removed from winning his last major at 50. What was he, 50 years old? 50, winning that 51? Major, he was arguably putting a lot of time into his game, practicing a lot, doing all that. And then going over to LIV and finishing super far down the leaderboards. I think every time we talked about him, he didn't shoot any under par rounds when we talked about him. Same could be said for Patrick Perez, who, has pretty much been on record as saying, I'm just
F you, I got paid.
Like the check.
Right. And it's different though, right? So maybe playing hard isn't the right way to say it, but maybe playing differently.
Sure.
Because it's different. It's you don't face a cut after 2 rounds.
It's more laid back.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be different. It's got to be different. Half the field goes into a PGA event and goes, I have a 50-50 shot at not playing past Friday.
Right.
Right. And everybody that starts a LIV event finishes the event and gets a paycheck.
Right.
Oftentimes bigger than the 8th place finisher on a PGA event.
Yeah, 120 grand for last place. That's pretty damn good.
I think it's different. It's funny seeing those comments, because I know that it's people that don't watch the PGA Tour. They probably aren't like super avid golf fans or anything, and they watch LIV because it's more accessible. And I get that. Side of things. If you watch LIV and you like LIV because it's more accessible, you can watch it on YouTube. You don't have to get cable. You don't have to subscribe to any subscription services. That's fine. That's great. But they definitely do not have to. They are not under the same stresses as people on the PGA Tour. And that's just pretty evident based on their structures.
Yeah. I know Jeff and I have been to PGA Tour events. We've been to large PGA Tour events. Been to a Ryder Cup. I've been to a Solheim Cup. Great atmospheres, awesome, fun times. The PGA regular tour events are a little more laid back and stuffy might be the right word, Jeff. I'm not sure there. People say LIV is more fun. It's like a tailgate party. Well, we're going to find out, because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to watch more LIV next year because I want to check out the product a little bit more closely. I want them to do more team events. I'm not sure they will. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we can go to a LIV event that's near us next year and experience it firsthand so that we can report back on what it's really like. I think it's important for us to pay more attention to it. Do I think the product sucks? No, I don't think the product sucks. I think the product is incomplete, and
I think it's a half-baked product.
Yeah, it's launch here, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff when it came out that, they tell you, oh, that's a new model of car this year. Don't buy that for a couple of years. Let them work out the kinks in the model.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And another thing that's going on right now is the legal battle, right? So LIV files suit in California, PGA Tour files suit in New York. That suit has now moved back to California, and the governor of the fund, Yasir bin Othman Al Ramayan. I apologize for butchering that name. right? Who's the governor of the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund and the man that everybody in LIV calls the boss, says, you know what? Yeah, you can ask me for all this stuff, but I'm not providing you anything. He says that they're claiming sovereign immunity under the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act and have flatly objected to supplying any information from the tour subpoenas. And they have not produced a single document yet. So they say that the United States has zero jurisdiction over them, even though he maintains and they maintain an office in New York and do a lot of business out of New York. Not only that, how many golf tournaments do they hold in the United States?
8 of their 12 were here, weren't they? I think.
Yeah. So something like that anyway. So
yeah.
I'm not sure how this is going to play out.
It's going to be interesting because if he doesn't want to play ball, then the United States doesn't have to give them any leeway, you know?
Yeah, they don't.
They could tell them that they have to stop operating in the United States.
That would be interesting. We need to get an attorney on here, have them look at this stuff and tell us what they think. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. These lawsuits are going to be ugly, right? If these two parties cannot get along at all, man, it's going to be a hard day watching golf. We're going to be focusing a lot more on our own game and stuff like that rather than watching golf, because it's going to be painful. Everything's going to be negative, and we had enough negativity in our lives. We don't need to deal with that too. So this thing that Tiger Woods and Rory have going, that they created this Tomorrow Sports that's going to focus on building technology focused ventures that feature progressive approaches to sports, media, and entertainment. They've gotten some huge people to invest in this with them. Out of F1, Alex Albon, Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Mark Webber. In the NFL, they have Josh Allen, Kevin Beecham, Larry Fitzgerald, and Tony Romo. Justin Timberlake's involved. Andy Murray, Serena Williams from the tennis world. Even the gaming world got involved with Tyler Ninja Belvins. And in the NBA, Steph Curry, Andrew Iguodala, Chris Paul, Jason Tatum, and Diana Taurasi from the Phoenix Mercury are in it. Josie Altidore, Gareth Bale, and Servando Carrasco and Alex Morgan from soccer. Shohei Ohtani and Trey Turner from the Major League Baseball. Sidney Crosby from the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Well, you know, if anybody gets close to him, they'll get a 2-minute penalty for getting close to Sydney. So
right, and even though surfing got involved with Kanoa Igarashi, who's a World Surf League Olympic silver medalist.
So what are they attempting to do? I mean, are they is this like are they trying to make like an ESPN type thing, but for not just like the major sports in the United States?
It's very vague with the technology focused ventures that feature progressive approaches to sports, media, and entertainment. So I'm not sure what they're trying to do. That's all I was able to find out on it so far. It's turning into a very big deal, however, because not only do they have those people, there's another group of business leader investors that includes Arthur Blank, David Blitzer, and John Henry, Steve Nash, Kevin Warren, Jimmy Dunn, Dick Ebersol, and Alexis Ohanian, who is the Reddit founder. They've all invested in this as well.
Interesting.
So there's a lot there. I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. I'm sure more will come out, and we'll be able to check it out and be, I don't know. To me, it sounds like they're going to do as much as they possibly can with everything that's entertainment sports-wise. And that comes to even with potentially doing a women's sports league where it's all women's sports all the time, which is not a bad thing, right?
No.
If I just see that they're gonna do stuff like that anyway. So there's a new Top Golf type simulator place. I can't remember the name of it.
You sent me some stuff about that. It's in Akron, right?
It's in Akron at Firestone. So
Cool.
it was on LinkedIn. I saw it, and Luke, our friend Luke, who owns, his family owns the Whiskey Run Golf Club in Canada, commented on it, and I reached out to him. I said, "Hey, you need to come down here and get south of your border and meet us in Akron, where we can go check out this new Topgolf like place." And he said he's all in for it. So we need to try to figure something out about doing that. That would be a lot of fun. Akron's about 2.5 hours from us. So, it's like going to Cincy and or Cleveland or
thought it was
Columbus.
Closer to 3, but
Yeah,
I can get there in an hour and a half, probably.
That's right.
Probably.
I'd love to play
Probably.
Firestone. That'd be such a cool experience.
It's one of those golf courses that is on the bucket list, right? So we have one in our backyard here, basically in Toledo, that we need to play.
Inverness.
Inverness, and I'm told that somebody we all know can get us on there. So we'll see what next year looks like, and
that'd be
hopefully we can
day.
do that. Right, it would be a great day, right? So
if anybody watches this, can get us on Stone Oak, I'm not above owing you a favor.
Where's Stone Oak?
It's in Toledo. I love Stone Oak. Love that.
Hey,
Stone Oak.
Or if you're a listener and you belong to a private club and you want to have 3 fun people hang out with you for a round of golf, let us know. And you're in this area.
2 old people and 1 fun one.
I said 3 fun people. Okay.
Well,
yeah, but 2 of us are old and you're fun.
I'll stay behind. My wife is fun. She'll go.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So that's all I got for this week. What do you guys got? Anything to wrap us up with?
No, nothing crazy. Golf's kind of been pushed far away for the last it feels like the last month or so. It just has not been the focus. And it probably won't be for a few more months. We got a lot of stuff to plan and finalize with the wedding. It's just that's been the main focus.
Yep. Well, excuse me. We do have simulators to hit this winter when we have some free time. So that's nice. And Mike, enjoy a 58-degree high on Friday.
58 degrees is golfable.
As long as it's not windy. It's been pretty windy the last few days.
It's been really windy. So pretty much every leaf has fallen now because of the wind. So
and they all blew in the ravine. It was perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. Didn't get that lucky, but we got a little bit of work left to do, and we'll get that done hopefully this weekend. But we're about to drop into the low 40s with low temperatures at night into the 20s. Yep. So
Koi Pond is shutting down this weekend. That's the end of the Koi Pond. The pump comes out, the heater goes in.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody's support. Thanks for listening. We'd appreciate it if you give us a like and hit that subscribe button for us. As
we love comments. Comment on
any
it.
comment.
Comments.
Seriously. Please. So really quick, I just want to say, 1, if you made it to the end of the video, that's awesome. 2, we are we all have full-time jobs. This is a hobby. We love golf and we talk about it all the time. That's why we started the podcast. Any other opinions are awesome and great. Just keep that in mind. Okay. We are definitely, this is not our full-time job. This is a hobby for us.
And that being said, we will try to answer back to all of our comments, no matter
every
what
comment
you say. We'll definitely try to respond in some fashion, usually very civilly. So
yes,
we do our best. We do our best. And again, thank you for listening. We have listeners all over the world. We appreciate you all. We'd love to hear from you. If you're in England somewhere, Australia, New Zealand, Zambia, we have somebody in Zambia who's listening. So we would love to hear from you. What are your courses like? Send us pictures. We want to hear it all, and we want to get better, and we want to provide content that you guys find fun, and we want to do it in a way that's fun too. We enjoy talking and giving each other shit, and we would love to throw shade back at you sometime too. So thanks for listening. We really appreciate you all. We hope you have a good day.
Have a great week.
Bye, everybody.